ABC7 Bangor.
This is ABC7 News at Noon.
A washed-out section of track is being blamed for a train derailment in Orneville yesterday. We'll have the details. Good afternoon. I'm Susan Farley. A Robbinston woman charged with murder was arraigned in Washington County yesterday, and there's still time to vote by absentee ballot. We'll tell you how to get one. Thank you for joining us. We'll have more on these and other stories coming up. First, let's check in with meteorologist Devin Biggs. Devin?
Hey Susan, happy Thursday afternoon. Your first weather forecast brought to you by Luigi and Fredericks across from Eastern Maine Medical Center, serving the greater Bangor area for over 65 years. Already we have small craft advisories up until 6 a.m. That's the main focus now. We did have a few frost advisories up earlier this morning. That has since been dropped. The big focus, small craft advisories up until Friday morning, as that cold front still is causing some issues out in the ocean. But on land, though, we're looking pretty good with, again, a lot of sunshine out there, maybe a few passing clouds and temperatures. That won't be too bad. High pressure not too far away. There's an area of low pressure right about in here, though. But even despite that, it's going to help to keep the high pressure nearby will help to keep a lot of the low pressure activity at bay. Maybe even a few areas of clouds in the northern parts of the state, and that'll be about it. Otherwise, though, futurecast for today looking pretty good. Notice a few clouds, maybe a few sprinkles in the northern ends of the state. But for us, looking very nice with a lot of sunshine and maybe a few passing clouds in a few areas from time to time. Otherwise, that gusty southwest wind reaching up to around 15 miles per hour at times, and gusts up to 20 to 25 miles per hour cannot be ruled out. We'll start to back things off a little bit as we head towards your Friday. Forecast for today, middle 50s, mostly sunny and breezy, and a south wind getting up to about 25 miles per hour. Later on tonight, middle 30s on the way, mostly clear with areas of dense fog developing overnight, with that breeze backing off out of the south at about 5 to 10 miles per hour. And that hourly forecast for the rest of the afternoon period, plenty of sunshine with temperatures in the 50s. Your full 5-day forecast is coming up. Susan?
Thank you, Devin. Crews are in Orneville today to continue clearing train cars that jump their tracks. Devin Dagnall has that story.
According to Canadian Pacific, at approximately 3:15 a.m., one of their trains derailed near Milo. As you can see, the pileup has created quite a mess along the tracks, with dirt and debris scattered along the tracks. Early reports said that tar was spilling from one of the train cars into a nearby stream. The Maine Department of Environmental Protection has since put out a statement saying that there has been no serious threat to the environment from the accident. Mark Willett, a resident and former CP employee who lives in earshot of the accident, says that he was able to hear the train as the derailment happened.
Well, I was up at 3 o'clock and I heard the train whistle. Must have been for the closest railroad crossing. And then all of a sudden I didn't hear the train go by, and I heard kind of a rumbling noise, and that was it. Then about an hour later, the fire department was out in front of my house with the lights on and directing traffic.
CP says that none of the crew on the train was hurt, and there is currently no public safety issues. The accident has not blocked off the road, but it has temporarily been converted to a one-way street with a traffic light so that CP's responders can work safely. Some of the workers on site speculate that the work may take up to 3 days. In Orneville, I'm Devin Dagnall, reporting for ABC7 and Fox 22.
A Robbinston woman was in court Wednesday afternoon to be arraigned for murder. 42-year-old Rebecca Moores was arrested in July in connection with the death of 53-year-old Paula Johnson. Johnson was found dead in her home at 515 Layton Road in Pembroke on February 9th. Moores pleaded not guilty to the murder charge during her arraignment. On Tuesday, Lincoln Police Department responded to a call of a disorderly person at a Lincoln courthouse. Dustin Sellers was arrested in response to the call and charged with assault on an officer, assault, disorderly conduct, and criminal threatening. He was transported to the Penobscot County Jail, where he is being held. A former fire chief from Athens has been indicted for allegedly sexually assaulting a 9-year-old. 45-year-old Sean Boyd was arrested in July. Boyd allegedly assaulted the child in 2014. The Somerset County Grand Jury indicted Boyd for gross sexual assault and unlawful sexual contact. A Waterville woman was also indicted in connection with a robbery at a Fairfield convenience store. Police say 32-year-old Bethany Hassan Munir and an accomplice robbed the Circle K on Norridge Walk Road in May. They were found at a home in Waterville later that day. Hassan Munir was indicted for robbery and theft by unauthorized taking. Waterville was the scene of a scary crash Wednesday morning. Two vehicles collided on Kennedy Memorial Drive just after 9:30 in the morning. Officials say several people were injured and one of the cars ended up slamming into a nearby home. A dog was also injured in that crash and was taken to a local animal hospital. Officials say the jaws of life had to be used to remove some of the victims. A local couple turned to modern technology to help stop a rash of thefts. They wish to remain anonymous, but tell us someone has been stealing their belongings from properties and job sites they own in the Herman area. After losing generators and tools and other property, they decided to install cameras and AirTag tracking devices on their remaining properties. One was in place Tuesday night when someone backed in and stole an expensive dump trailer. They watched the whole thing and tracked the stolen trailer to a home in East Corinth. The victims say the alleged crooks are well known to local police. The sheriff's office confirms the case is now under investigation. In early September of this year, a federal judge sided with NOAA and ruled against the Maine Lobstermen's Association in its lawsuit against the agency. The lobstermen say the agency's plan to save the North Atlantic right whales is flawed. Now an appeals court has sided with them in their request to expedite the consideration of its appeal. In September 2021, the Lobstermen's Association filed a suit challenging the 10-year whale protection plan that they say will all but eliminate the Maine lobster fishery and still fail to save the endangered North Atlantic right whale. The MLA argues that NOAA has overestimated the lobster industry's risk to right whales and also failed to follow mandatory legal requirements to assess the economic and social costs of their actions. In early September of this year, a federal judge in Washington, D.C. ruled against the MLA's lawsuit and deferred to NOAA on all counts without disputing the validity of MLA's concerns. As a result, NOAA is now fast-tracking the 10-year whale plan and will require Maine's lobster industry to implement what the industry calls an unachievable 90% risk reduction as quickly as possible, or the fishery could be shut down. In granting the motion for the expedited appeal, the court laid out a timeline that requires all briefs be submitted by January 10th, 2023. The court rarely grants motions to expedite. With Election Day being just 3 weeks away, voters are already taking action. Secretary of State Shenna Bellows tells us that there have been over 100,000 requests for absentee ballots. If you would like to vote that way, you can still reach out to your municipal office or go online to maine.gov to get your ballot. They are accepting ballots through Thursday before the election.
We are so lucky in Maine. Our local election clerks are pros. Our elections are free, fair, and secure. Things are running very smoothly.
Bellows also says that most municipalities are doing well with volunteers signing up, but some are still looking for help. She says it doesn't matter what party you're associated with. You only need to be a resident of the county that you want to volunteer in. Coming up on ABC 7 News at noon, there's new debt relief for thousands of farmers. We'll have the details when we come back.
You work the night shift, take the extra shift, wake up before dawn, and every paycheck you pay into Medicare and Social Security to fund the retirement you deserve. Bruce Poliquin voted to cut Medicare and put Social Security benefits at risk. He even wants to raise the retirement age. Pretty rich coming from a millionaire politician who's never had to pull an extra shift. Moderate PAC is responsible for the content of this ad.
I was a public health nurse for 29 years. I went into the homes of my neighbors, including many seniors, and cared for them. Then Paul LePage became governor, and everything changed. He kicked seniors off Maine's low-cost prescription drug plan. He cut a Social Security program when it was needed most, and even opposed Meals on Wheels funding. How cruel is that? We can't go back to Paul LePage.
The top funder of Better Maine is the Democratic Governors Association.
I'm Jared Golden, and I approve this message.
Veterans need a congressman who's got their backs. Jared Golden does. Jared's a veteran himself and worked with Republicans and Democrats to get the VA to build an inpatient facility in Maine to treat mental health and substance use disorders. Bruce Poliquin didn't have my back. Poliquin helped create a commission that wants to close VA facilities across Maine, forcing veterans to travel even further for VA care. Veterans can't trust Bruce Poliquin.
Senator Joe Baldacci, hardworking, independent, and effective. Joe Baldacci delivered by helping to pass more than $1 billion in direct tax relief for more than 95% of Maine taxpayers. Joe Baldacci delivered by passing laws to support Maine's small businesses across the board that provided tens of millions in direct relief, helping to protect and save thousands of jobs. Joe Baldacci, hardworking, independent, and effective, delivering results for Bangor and her.
She's been learning about the founding of our country, about rights and freedoms that today are under assault. Politician Bruce Poliquin supported amending the U.S. Constitution to ban abortion. He even voted for a nationwide ban. Poliquin would allow politicians to stand between women and their doctors. He supported allowing states to outlaw abortion even in cases of rape or incest. We can't let Bruce Poliquin back in Congress.
DCCC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
You're watching ABC 7 Bangor.
Russian President Vladimir Putin declared martial law in the 4 regions of Ukraine Moscow recently annexed. This is as the Russian army continues their attacks on various parts of Ukraine. Fox's Trey Yanks has more.
During 24 hours, more than 10 regions were subject to Russian terrorist strikes.
Ukraine hit with several missiles Wednesday as Moscow continues to ramp up attacks targeting civilians. In the latest wave of strikes to cripple Ukraine's infrastructure, a Russian missile hit a thermal power plant in the west. According to Ukraine's president, Volodymyr Zelensky, a third of his country's power stations have been taken out, cutting power and water supplies to hundreds of thousands.
We are all seeing that the enemy is attacking critical infrastructure. Unfortunately, our region experienced missile fire today once again. The Burshin thermal power station was hit, which caused a fire.
In eastern Ukraine, emergency workers have their hands full. Paramedics dodging live rounds while trying to treat an injured woman in the Donetsk region. Part of the area is under Kyiv's control, but has seen intense fighting in recent weeks. First responders say despite the danger, they'll do whatever it takes to protect their home.
Yes, it is what it is. We are fighting for our homes, for our Ukraine, for our homeland.
As some Ukrainians are forced to duck constant shelling, the Kremlin warning others in the Kherson region to flee their homes. Tens of thousands of civilians and Russian-appointed officials getting on boats ahead of a possible Ukrainian push forward. The evacuations come as Ukraine's army regains more territory on the southern front. Ukrainian officials say residents in Kherson can ignore warnings to evacuate, adding this is just a Russian tactic to cause panic. In Kyiv, Trey Inkst, Fox News.
Some farmers facing economic difficulties are getting a break. The U.S. Department of Agriculture is giving debt relief to 36,000 U.S. farmers. The USDA will provide $1.3 billion for those who have fallen behind on loan payments or face foreclosures. The financial struggles include drought and transportation bottlenecks. Some farmers delinquent on direct or guaranteed loan payments for 60 days will get automatic electronic payments. This morning in London, UK, the British Prime Minister made the announcement that she is resigning.
This morning, Britain's Prime Minister Liz Truss resigning after just 6 weeks in office, forced to step down by her own party. Truss making the announcement in front of the Prime Minister's residence at 10 Downing Street.
I recognise, though, given the situation, I cannot deliver the mandate on which I was elected by the Conservative Party. I have therefore spoken to His Majesty the King to notify him that I am resigning as leader of the Conservative Party.
Truss's exit making her now the shortest-serving Prime Minister in modern British history. Her removal coming after 2 weeks of extraordinary political chaos in the UK, triggered by Truss's own economic programme. Her plans for huge tax cuts setting off a financial crisis in the UK, with the British pound crashing against the dollar. Forced into an embarrassing total reversal of her tax plans, Truss's standing in the country and in her own party imploded. Truss, though, defiant just Wednesday in Parliament, insisting she was not a quitter.
I am a fighter and not a quitter.
But hours later, more turmoil. Her Interior Minister resigning.
I think it's a shambles and a disgrace. I think it is utterly appalling.
The Conservative Party now plans to choose a new leader in just a week. Rishi Sunak, the former Chancellor who Truss defeated just weeks ago, is now a favourite. Some even calling for former Prime Minister Boris Johnson to return, ousted in just July. Opposition parties are demanding a general election be held now, saying Conservatives no longer have a mandate to govern. But a big question now is whether the Tory party can avoid a general election. Patrick Reevell, ABC News, London.
When we return, we'll take a look at encouraging your child to wear safety helmets. That's next. We'll be right back.
Attention Medicare beneficiaries. Have both Medicare and Medicaid? Now's the time to explore your options and choose the coverage that's right for you. Choose a plan that offers you more benefits at no additional cost. Millions of members turn to WellCare for benefits and services that go beyond basic Medicare and help them lead better, healthier lives. Choose a plan with zero or low monthly premiums, co-pays, and deductibles. And with WellCare, you don't just pay less, you get more. More dental with comprehensive coverage, including dentures and crowns. More vision and hearing with an eyewear allowance and hearing aids. Plus prescription drug coverage with $0 preferred generics and free home delivery. Call us at 1-877-267-8416 to speak to a friendly licensed representative and request a free all-in-one guide. There's no obligation. We're here to help you review your options to see if a WellCare plan is the right decision for you. WellCare has a large network of quality doctors and specialists. Plus, we offer PPOD SNPs with the freedom and flexibility to choose your preferred provider in some areas. Enjoy free over-the-counter healthcare items and free groceries with a healthy food card. Plus, free transportation to doctors and pharmacies and free meals delivered to your home. Get convenient access to care with our telehealth services, including online doctor visits and a free gym membership with online classes. WellCare is a leader in government-sponsored health care. It has been serving those with Medicare, Medicaid, and prescription drug for more than 35 years. Call now. We're here to answer your questions and even assist enrolling you over the phone. Choose the company that puts your health first. WellCare, Medicare done well. Call now and get a free copy of our all-in-one guide. 1-877-267-8416.
87,000 new IRS agents. Jared Golden and the Democrats in Congress voted to hire them. They doubled the size of the IRS to seize another $20 billion in new taxes from the middle class. And now Democrats openly threaten to raise taxes again next year. Jared Golden won't stop them. He votes with Biden and Pelosi 83% of the time. It's a war on the middle class, and Jared Golden marches with them. The NRCC is responsible for the content of this advertisement.
Helmets are recommended by pediatricians to decrease the risk of head injury while participating in some sports. But how many children are actually using them? With more, here's ABC News' Justin Finch.
Helmets are recommended when children are riding bikes, participating in skiing, snowboarding, horseback riding, and other sports. But less than half of children ages 5 to 17 reported always wearing helmets when riding bikes. And 1/3 of children did not wear helmets at all. Reasons people say they don't wear helmets include cost, discomfort, or feeling they don't prevent injury. This is despite evidence that helmets decrease risk of head and facial injuries. The American Academy of Pediatrics emphasizes the importance of adult role modeling by wearing helmets and replacing helmets if outgrown or damaged. With this Medical Minute, I'm Justin Finch, ABC News.
Wednesday, Bangor Floral joined the nationwide effort to pedal it forward. At Bangor's West Market Square, strangers received 2 free flowers, one to keep and one to give to a friend, family member, loved one, or even a stranger. Organized by the Society of American Florists, this random act of kindness was designed to help start people's day off with a smile and less stress. Bangor Floral Office Manager Heather Murray explains why people should join the effort to pedal it forward.
Studies have shown that smiling reduces depression, and, let's just make the world a happier place.
For more information on the health effects of flowers, be sure to check out aboutflowers.com/research. When we return, Devin Biggs has your 5-day forecast.
Jay Leno live in concert.
Researchers at Washington University report that 100,000 years from now, the average size of the human head will greatly increase. They say the larger the head and the larger the jaw, the more sexually attractive people will be. So I am 100,000 years ahead of my time. That's right.
Saturday, October 22nd, Collins Center for the Arts, Orono, Maine. Tickets on sale now at waterfrontconcerts.com.
Joe Biden is crushing Maine. And who does Jared Golden support?
Golden's backing Biden.
Jared Golden said Joe Biden has
leadership that the country needs right now.
Higher taxes, record inflation, and still
Golden's backing Biden.
In D.C., Joe Biden relies on Jared Golden's votes.
President Joe Biden, I'm asking you to vote for Jared Golden.
Jared Golden says he's independent, but anytime it matters, Golden's backing Biden.
I'm Bruce Poliquin, and I approve this message.
I'm Jim with Lowry & Associates. Winning car accident cases is what we do. Check out a few of our big wins.
I broke my leg, and they got me $205,000. What did the twos do for you?
I injured my back, and they got me $300,000. What did the twos do for you?
I broke multiple bones, and Lowry & Associates got me $700,000.
Call the twos. We win for you.
If you're hurt in an accident, what do you do? Call 222-2222.
87,000 new IRS agents. Jared Golden and the Democrats in Congress voted to hire them. They doubled the size of the IRS to seize another $20 billion in new taxes from the middle class. And now Democrats openly threaten to raise taxes again next year. Jared Golden won't stop them. He votes with Biden and Pelosi 83% of the time. It's a war on the middle class, and Jared Golden marches with them. The NRCC is responsible for the content of this advertisement.
A recent study says adding more nature space could help many in poor areas add years to their lives. Scientists with the University of Glasgow in Great Britain say increasing natural spaces such as parks and gardens helps drop death rates in people under 65. They add it could be a key to narrowing death rates between the rich and the poor. The researchers say each 10% of natural spaces added, there was a decrease in death by 7%. The study combined disease data with geographic zones and could help shape health policies. Now let's check your full forecast with Devin Biggs. Devin?
Alrighty, happy Thursday afternoon. Your full weather forecast brought to you by Scott's Recreation, New England's largest trailer dealer, home and Maine's lowest camper and tractor prices, with locations in Turner, Manchester, Herman, and Orono, Maine. Alrighty, small craft advisory is up until 6 a.m. That is the big story at this point, though, as these frost advisories were dropped earlier this morning. But otherwise, yeah, cold front off land, which is why it's causing the ocean to be stirred up, which is why those small craft advisories remain in effect until early tomorrow morning. But still, we're looking pretty good in our neck of the woods, though, with plenty of sunshine, maybe a few passing clouds. The cold front well far away from us at this point. There's another area of low pressure located right about in here, though. So even though it's going to be tracking close to us to the north and east, really any clouds or any chances for any raindrops will mainly stay in the northern ends of Maine. But for us, though, we're going to be looking pretty nice today with plenty of sunshine, but a little breezy from time to time as well. And with that in mind, though, gusty winds can reach up around 20, maybe 25 miles per hour in a few spots. We're going to maintain that 15-mile-per-hour gust overnight today, but by tomorrow morning, that wind will finally start to back off slowly but surely. Wave heights are still high at around 5 to 8 feet, according to some of the buoys out there. This is why we still have those small craft advisories that are in effect. But moving forward, though, our average high is 57 degrees, middle to upper 50s today, with the middle 60s as we head towards the weekend, so not too bad. The upper 50s via Monday, back in the middle 60s again as we head towards Tuesday and also into your Wednesday. Futurecast moving forward, though, any clouds and any raindrops staying to the north. We'll be under a lot of sunshine, maybe a few passing clouds today and also in the parts of tonight. But really, the weather's going to be nice for us moving forward with a lot of sunshine and maybe a few passing clouds, not only for today, but also into tomorrow as well, and running through parts of the weekend, too. Any rainfall is going to be happening well into next week, though. So by Sunday night and at least through Thursday, some rain chances on the way, up to an inch or two possible again between Sunday and Thursday, so a long time stretch here. And, of course, plenty of days to watch this as well. This is going to be developing over time, so nothing set in stone yet. We'll just be expecting rain as we head towards next week. But for today, though, we're dry, mostly sunny and breezy, highs in the mid-50s, south wind getting up to around 25 miles per hour. Middle 30s on the way for tonight, mostly clear areas of dense fog, south wind up to around 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tomorrow, upper 50s, mostly sunny. Southwest wind backing off to about 5 to 10 miles per hour. Scott's Recreation extended forecast. Look at this. Even by Saturday, we're dry, mostly sunny, highs in the mid-60s. Mid-60s again on Sunday with a mostly cloudy sky. And the rain moves in by Monday, highs falling into the upper 50s.
Thank you, Devin. The Maine Foliage Report released an updated map of the leaf peeping conditions yesterday. It's that time already. The Maine Department of Agriculture, Conservation and Forestry's final foliage report indicates past peak conditions for most of the state. Peak conditions are still occurring in southern parts of Maine. A rescue dog from Puerto Rico that got lost shortly after getting to New York has been found safe. Rescuers say it took them more than a month to find the pup. Fox's Sharon Crowley has the story.
We're so happy that she's here with us.
Lost and now found. Suki, this Labrador Retriever mix, is safe with her foster caretaker Maggie Lugo in Garfield, New Jersey.
And she's doing all right. She's just, a little skinny, a little skin and bones right now, but that's nothing we can't fix.
This dog has been on a remarkable journey, one that began when her former owner, Michael Compton, rescued her in Puerto Rico.
They were going to take them out and throw them away, just like trash.
Compton later had to give Suki to a shelter in Puerto Rico when his wife became sick. On September 15th, Suki was put on a flight to Newark to be placed in a new home. But shortly after the plane landed, Suki escaped. That's when Jim Tierney entered the picture.
Hi, Suki. I find lost dogs. I track and trap missing animals. Yep.
Tierney is a professional pet tracker. He set up a cage near the airport equipped with cameras. He tried to lure Suki out of hiding by putting food in the trap.
What I wound up doing is using 6 cameras, placing them in different locations, seeing if I can get her to come across. And we did get a sighting from one of the Port Authority Police Department. They called and said there was this one area that she was in. So I placed a camera there for an entire week.
It would take more than a month to find Suki and a lot of long nights.
It's an all-night endeavor. So if she doesn't show, what I wind up doing is you tie it open with a bungee cord and you turn it into a crate with food. And that's exactly what she did this time. And Suki, you're here?
Suki was found near train tracks in an industrial area near Newark Airport. The dog's return, overwhelming news for Michael Compton.
So many people prayed, made this happen. Thank God. Thank God it all goes to him and to all these people. I'm so sorry. But it's the most fantastic day. I'm just crying. Tears of joy.
And there's a fitting end to this dog's story. Suki will soon have a new owner. It turns out to be a woman who lost but never found her dog. And now for the latest on what's happening in Hollywood, here's ABC's Jason Nathanson.
Blammo! This is Satan. In case you get lost, some losers try to mess with you.
Season 1 of the satanic animated comedy Little Demon comes to an end tonight with real-life father and daughter Danny and Lucy DeVito playing Satan and Satan's love child, Chrissy. And they tell me there's a big reveal on tonight's season finale.
I guess I could give you a little spoiler, and it's that Chrissy realizes she has siblings.
Yeah. Big spoiler.
The devil has gotten around.
You can watch Little Demon tonight on FXX or streaming the next day on Hulu. Dame Judi Dench not a fan of the Netflix royal drama The Crown. In a letter to the British newspaper The Times, she accuses the show of crude sensationalism and also calls it cruelly unjust in its portrayal of Queen Elizabeth and her family. She calls on Netflix to put a disclaimer before episodes reminding people that it's a fictionalized drama. This comes after others have also recently called out the show for fabricating storylines. Friends star Matthew Perry revealing new details about how addiction almost cost him his life. In his upcoming memoir, according to People magazine, he says at one point during the filming of the sitcom he was taking 55 Vicodin a day. He also reveals that in 2018 he was hospitalized after his colon burst from opioid abuse. He was in a coma for 2 weeks, given a 2% chance to live.
That's a book right there. I wrote that. I wrote it all by myself.
The memoir is out November 1st. And happy birthday to iconic rapper Snoop Dogg today. He's 51. While actor and director John Krasinski is 43. And that's what's happening in Hollywood. I'm Jason Nathanson, ABC News, Los Angeles.
We'll see you tonight at 6.
It's simple, and it's not an imaginary threat. In fact, it's happening right now all over the country. Bruce Poliquin would hand over control of our healthcare decisions to politicians. Poliquin would allow politicians like him to make abortion illegal, even in the case of rape and incest. But that's not the end of the story. Poliquin also supported a national abortion ban, so even if Maine says no, we still lose control of our healthcare decisions. Bruce Poliquin is a risk we just can't take. Center Forward Committee is responsible for the content of this advertising.
You're watching ABC 7 Bang.